have to reset, and what happened last year is not what's this year. And that's what I'm trying to get my team to understand, because last year was great, but now we have to build up this year to get to where we were last year. So the one thing that I try to make them understand is, instead of saying, well, we were in the finals last year, we should win this year, is entitled teams don't win titles. So I'm trying to get them to understand that entitled teams don't win titles. So we have to start from scratch every single time and look to our goal to the end. We've brought in some pretty talented young ladies this year, and we had the go-to person in B. This year we have go-to people. So we have more than just one go-to. Like you said, Sydney's returning. We have Gina Lipscomb from California, that's a huge player. We have Mirta Maring that came in as a transfer, 6'3" transfer from Long Island, who is just doing a great job. Plus our setter, Abby, has a year under her belt, and our second setter this year will be Gina Lipscomb as a right side setter. Our defenders are awesome. We have Sophia Brandstetter that also is a hitter, but she's coming in as one of our ball control players. I'm just really looking forward to a fun, good experience. I mean, it's so important for the kids to have a good experience, but I think it's even more important for the staff to have a good experience, because as you have a good experience, it goes into your team. Energy transfers. So if we're all really mindful about everybody enjoying the experience, I think we're going to kick some butt and bring me a ring home.
Be great, be positive, and love God. Day by day to see a better day, man.
Gotta hustle for that bag, for that beamer, for that jag. I've been grinding,
Nice catch.
tryna get my mama straight. I'ma put it on the track.
Here we go.
Let's go up.
Let's go
up. Let's go up. Let's go up. Let's go up. Let's go up. Let's go up. Let's go up.
I'm very excited. It's a great challenge for me. I really am looking forward to building a top-notch program. I thought the facilities were beautiful. I thought the campus was amazing. When I came down here, I really loved the administration that I'd met. It gave me a new energy that I really wanted to come here and be a part of what FIU had to offer. For me, it's always just been a personal goal to be a top-notch coach at a major D1 university. So for me, this is a great step in the right direction. I really enjoy building programs and turning programs around into quality winning programs. So for me, that's what it's all about. I want to come in, I want to build a great program from the ground up. I want to have great kids who do good things for the university and in turn do great things in this world. I've been fortunate enough to win a national championship and a conference championship, so I want to bring that experience to these kids and give them the love and support that they need to accomplish that. And that's really important to me, and that's what I think I'm most fired up about, is that challenge of starting over, starting new, but getting these kids on board and really moving forward. And I think FIU is a great place to be. It's always going to be a challenge. There's a lot of adversity, but the winner in all of us comes from within, and it's coming over any obstacle that might get in our way. Coming together as one and getting on the same page is going to be amazing for these kids, and having them believe in something that they maybe didn't think was possible. And I think that's the goal for me from the very beginning, is to get them to see that we're playing for a goal, playing for a purpose, and that we can accomplish that. It's just going to take all these steps to get there. I really want to stand out as a very hardworking team, a family-oriented team, a sisterhood, girls who are here for each other, standing beside each other and going to battle with each other. And it takes a lot of time and energy to do it, but we're willing to do that because we're sisters, and no matter what, we're going to fight for each other, and that's what family does. So I think that's the biggest part of the culture I want to really instill in these kids and this program, is that we're a family and we're going to win together, we're going to work together, and we're going to be together and accomplish a lot of great things.
Countdown to kickoff, 3 days. Thursday night in NOLA awaits. The memories of the Bahamas, a reminder of the progress of this program. But folks, it's a new season. The standard has been set. Game week is in full swing. We're live at FIU, coming to you from the GC, the heart of campus. Practice just finished up, and we're ready to go. Welcome to another season of FIU football. With the head coach, Butch Davis, I'm AJ Ricketts. Glad to have you with us for Panther Talk Live, brought to you by Geico. Coach, excited for another season. Glad to be here once again, and we're ready to go. It's another season of FIU football around the corner.
Absolutely, AJ. It's great to be here. It's the electricity, people back in the Graham Center.
Yeah.
It feels like, this is really game week. There's people on campus. We've had a good training camp, AJ. The NCAA allows you to have 25 practices. Today, it seems weird because today's a Monday, okay? Yeah. But not really for FIU
and for
Wednesday,
yeah.
Exactly. Today's a Wednesday's practice. So it was good. It's hot out there, but it's going to be hot in New Orleans on Thursday night, so it's a good way to practice.
Yeah, you're right. I love the energy in the Graham Center. The only negative is the line at Pollo Tropical is a little longer for me for lunch, but other than that, we're good. It's the first day of class here at FIU. The students head into class. Coach, you were sit in the front row, kind kind of guy, right? Memorize the syllabus, 4.0 GPA kind of guy, right?
Not quite, but
So, okay, so you may have played football and I ran track, but we're kind of similar then.
yeah, very much so.
That's
very
funny.
much
Hey,
so.
a lot of energy here, and last night at Ricardo Silva Stadium, even though a little bit of rain, a great event, a Meet the Panthers event. It's the first annual, and a lot of energy there, I think representative of the anticipation a lot of fans and folks have for this year.
You know, AJ, we ask a lot of people to get involved and try to help make that event, you know, something that would become kind of a kickoff to the season every year and for coming years. You know, the band was spectacular. The cheerleaders, the dazzlers. We made an open invitation to the families and the freshmen at the freshman convocation in the basketball arena. A lot of people actually did come down. They got autographs. They took pictures with the players. Obviously, you referenced the fact that it did storm a little bit, so we had to take things off the field. But one of the cutest things, AJ, that I saw that we really wanted to do was, you know, the cheerleaders and the dazzlers stood and formed a line outside of Roy the Panther mouth that the players run through, and there was children running through there, and families were able to take pictures, and it was really a lot of fun for people to be there and meet our players, and so it was a good night.
Hey, the best way to develop lifelong fans is to start them young.
Yeah, no doubt.
You just saw the pictures there. A lot of fans getting the posters full of autographs, so that was awesome to see. Great to have Billy Gill out there, too, from the Dan Levitard Show, making a visit. FIU alum. He ran track. He was a pole vaulter here at FIU,
No kidding,
so that was great to see him there. You have an open
good.
invitation to the broadcast booth anytime you want, Billy, a.k.a. Guillermo, a.k.a. Pipo. We'll see you soon here at FIU. Glad to see you there last night. All right, hey, let's talk about the team a little bit. And you think of the FIU offense this year, and they're headlined, of course, by James Morgan, the senior quarterback. Okay, Coach, 2019, no QB battles for that starting spot. Maybe for the backup, the 2 or 3, but James Morgan's your leader. 26 touchdown passes last year. All he did was set a school record. He didn't even play in every single game. He's your leader on the offense.
Yeah, I tell you what, AJ, we are unbelievably fortunate to have him as our starting quarterback and a leader. He sets the standard for accepted practices. His workout, his ethic is unbelievable. The amount of time and effort that he spends in studying the opponent, you couldn't ask for a quarterback to do anymore. And I think he sets, you know, the tempo of the deal, because obviously you're the quarterback. He gets guys going. They trust him. They know how he's going to prepare. They know how he's going to perform in practice and in games. And, you know, we have high expectations, just like I know he does, that he's going to have a great senior year.
And we didn't put this picture in the rundown, but something that stood out from this summer, Coach Villano, special teams coach, posted it. Look, you know, in high school, a lot of athletes expect the freshmen to put up the water coolers, you know, and in college, it's expected maybe the support staff. James Morgan this summer's lugging a water cooler off the field. It really spoke to the leadership of him. No one's too big to do the minor tasks.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, some of the great quarterbacks that I've ever had an opportunity to be around, whether it was Bernie Kosar or Vinny Testaverde in college and Troy Aikman with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, one thing about the quarterbacks, James does those things. I mean, he gets meetings, individual meetings with like the wide receivers. He'll call the running backs and the tight ends. Let's meet, let's watch film. Organizing things during the summertime and the hot days when there's no TV, there's no fans, there's no blimps in the sky watching practice. And he's got them out there and they're running routes and they're working on individual little bitty things. And you couldn't ask for a quarterback to be a better leader.
All right, so in the backfield along with James Morgan, you know, running back depth, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
I think you've developed that for sure. You've got 3 guys. Obviously, Napoleon Maxwell has been here since the program began, so he's a veteran. Anthony Jones, you said the other day you felt he could have been a 1,500-yard back if he was healthy last year. And then Devontae Price, you said, look, when he touches the football, good things usually happen. So you have 3 veterans in the backfield, and then even a 4 and 5, 2 redshirt freshmen that are eager for their reps. So you've got some pieces to work with here.
Well, we do, and obviously we love it, and we try to create opportunities where we get not only just one running back in the game. We've had packages where we have 2 and 3 running backs to get in the game on the exact same play. All of these guys play huge, gigantic roles on all of our special teams. They cover kickoffs, they cover punts, they're on the kickoff punt return teams. So we have ways to try to get them involved in almost every single one of the games. But I think keeping guys fresh, keeping them healthy, that way every possession that they're in the game, you know their legs are electric, that they're not ever going to be tired. And I think by keeping those guys fresh during the course of the game, their performances is going to increase.
You certainly, I think, got a glimpse of what to expect this season. Last year, it was as if, like Devontae Price here in the Western Kentucky game. You know, he was living in the end zone. Napoleon Maxwell, UMass, and obviously Anthony Jones, Charlotte, and then the Bahamas Bowl. You're able to ride the hot hand, and that's an excellent thing to have.
No doubt about it. And this is kind of, you know, this you don't want to talk about the NFL draft, okay? But when I was at the University of Miami, we had a loaded running back room with Clinton Portis, Najee Davenport, Willis McGahee, a lot of guys, Frank Gore. The one great thing that happened for all those guys, because they didn't have to take 400 carries during the course of the game over the course of 3 or 4 seasons. Now their lifespan, almost every single one of those players that we had there and the ones that I had at North Carolina, they all played 8, 9, 10, 11 years in the National Football League because they didn't go out there and get beat up. And I think it keeps guys fresh, keeps them energized, and they're all great players. They're going to really, truly help us win.
Yeah, Frank Gore is still playing. I think
absolutely.
that attributes
That's right.
they're able to get the reps, they're able to get in a rhythm, but they're not getting worn down necessarily,
absolutely.
and that's the important thing. All right, hey, let's switch sides of the football here. That defensive line is a storyline of intrigue for a lot of folks, and you look at a lot of experience there. Noah Curtis had a breakout season last year. Tier Tart started to figure things out. Kevin Oliver obviously had a good year, and you've got some guys that hopefully have bigger roles this season. What do you see out of the defensive line right now?
AJ, obviously, in my personal opinion, I think the heart of a defense starts with the defensive line. If your defensive line struggles and you don't have depth and they're not able to control the line of scrimmage, you got a hard challenge of stopping the run and putting pressure on the quarterback. Well, last year we tried to groom some really young players and some guys, and we played 8, 9, 10 guys during the course of the game. You referenced Noah Curtis and Kevin Oliver, Tier Tart, Andrew Tarver played a little bit for us last year. Well, now we've got some new guys. Jason Mercier, who played a little bit last year for us. I mean, he's a guy that we expect to come in and play. Rashad Colson, who has been kind of a quasi red shirt freshman and sophomore, hasn't played much. He's really earning some opportunities to play. Jordan Woods, who I really think is going to have a really outstanding year for us this year. So we think that we've got at least 2 deep and maybe a couple of other guys that could be in some packages. We need to keep them fresh because the up-tempo offenses where people try to run 75 to 90 plays in the course of the game, there's no 4 defensive linemen that could play great football and play 90 plays. So we'll keep guys fresh, rotate them in, and I think that their performance is going to be significantly better.
Yeah, you stressed that since you arrived. You want to go 8 to 10 deep along that defensive line. It'll be exciting to see how that develops throughout the year. All right, Florida Lumber's proud sponsor of Panther Talk Live with Butch Davis. Come see why Florida Lumber is more than just lumber. For nearly 50 years, Florida Lumber has been servicing homeowners, contractors, and handymen. Visit their showroom at floridalumber.com today. All right, hey, that school from uptown in the Big Easy has plenty of aspirations themselves. Remember our season opener 2 years ago, also against the squad from the American who just played in the Cure Bowl? But this is a much different FIU team. We're talking Tulane on Panther Talk Live. Coming up after the break, we're rolling along.
Stronger together.
Innovative.
Pushing ourselves to think outside the box.
We love to compete. Any team.
Anytime.
And any place.
Inspiring others through service and achievement.
Comfortable leading in a different way.
Preparing for life beyond athletics.
Determined to achieve our vision.
Building the next generation.
And we aren't afraid of doing it our way.
This is the CUSA way.
We are playing for FIU, we're playing for the Panthers, we're playing for our family.
Morgan looking for history, has it in for the touchdown.
Maurice Alexander, it's a house call.
They're really competing to see who's making the best nutritious meals, and the girls are working really hard, so I'm excited.
It helps with their recovery following workouts and competitions and games. If they don't get the right amount of nutrients in, as far as protein and carbs and vitamins and minerals from the fruits and veggies, then they might not perform up to where they can.
I had the best time getting to cook with some of my favorite teammates. My group really flowed very well. Sophia, Abby, and Theo were just magnificent. They let me take lead.
Obviously, it was awesome. It was amazing. Not only are they great athletes and terrific students, but they're actually really, really good chefs. They know how to cook. It was a fun event, but it was a fulfilling event.
We're a university founded on the side of an airport, reaching new heights. It's in our DNA. And since then, we've dedicated ourselves to solving the big problems facing our community and the world. We believe that crazy startup idea isn't so crazy, that families without health care shouldn't have to go it alone. we believe we can be better prepared for the next hurricane and that our coral reefs can be saved. And that's because, above all else, we believe in you.
Well, the grind of August practices now annually punctuated with a fall camp field trip. Who doesn't enjoy a little bus ride over to South Beach to dip in the pool, the beach? The Fountain Blue coach, they're big friends of FIU, and I know the team loves taking a little trip over there every fall camp now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's the highlight in the middle of August and all the training camp and all the practices. They cannot wait to get on that bus and go to the Fountain Blue and get around the pool. They give out great food. Guys get a chance to go out in the ocean, and to be honest with you, AJ, this is one of the funniest things.
Yeah.
We have guys on the team that have grown their entire life in Dade County, never been in the ocean. Okay?
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's shocking.
I know, kidding. Exactly. You're 12 miles away from the beach, and guys go out there and they go, man, this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
I've
you
never
come out
done
here
this.
more often.
I can come here maybe again. You
And
know?
you're like, you don't spend all your time out there. You have to keep them away from the beach.
It was kind of cool. One of the things, I've got a nephew that's got a company that he's tried to get started in, and it's called Chill Drill, and it's a deal where you can fish standing in the water. And so we tried to have like a little miniature fishing tournament. Guys are throwing the bait out there and trying to catch fish and try to catch a little, a couple little red snappers or something like that.
That's
it was
funny.
hilarious. Yeah.
You got to get them out there in that summer fishing tournament. Now, that's a big deal.
Yeah, no
that's
kidding.
a little tougher to catch, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to have a little bit of practice. We were talking about food in New Orleans in the commercial break, and then that commercial came with the chops. The volleyball team was having the avocado toast. That looks good.
That does look good.
Rita needs to invite us over next time you guys are doing that. That looks good. That New Orleans food. I mean, I have no match for that. All right, let's talk Tulane. All right,
Sure.
Our upcoming opponent, week 1 of the season. All right, last season, they win 5 of their last 6 games after starting 2-5. UAB, Cincy, SMU all defeating the Green Wave. They had Wake Forest lost an OT, but things took a turn when Justin McMillan was inserted as the starting quarterback. The LSU transfer that we'll talk about in a moment. They went 5-1, and we'll show some tape here of their dramatic game against Navy in a second. They end up making a bowl game thanks to a 2-point conversion, and instead of going 5-7, they go 7-6, a win over Louisiana. So looking at the tape, what are your initial impressions of the Green Wave here?
Yeah, well, obviously the biggest difference in their offense from 2 years ago when we played them, they were dramatically a run-oriented football team. Gun-run option where the quarterback kept the ball, he ran. Now they've got a quarterback that absolutely can throw the ball, which makes them a two-dimensional offense. They've got really good running backs. One of the running backs last year rushed for over 1,000 yards, and so that's kind of the strength of their team is the ability to run the football and then have the quarterback make play-action plays. All the famous thing that everybody's talking about is RPOs. It's run, play, action, and stuff, and that makes them a more difficult team to defend.
Well, Willie Fritz is entering his 4th season there. 4 wins year 1, 5 in year 2, then, of course, 7 last season. So he's got a new offensive coordinator. And, again, you mentioned last time we played them, it's going to feel like it was a much different offense. They've kind of gradually opened up the field a little more. So Will Hall, he was at Memphis. He's worked his way up from a quarterback's coach at Presbyterian when he started coaching collegiately in 2004. Now the offensive coordinator, and he's got a pretty good guy to work with. And Justin McMillan, the transfer from LSU. He showed up to campus 5 days before game 1 last season, so they weren't ready to throw him in. But after their starting quarterback had 2 fumbles in the final 4 possessions against Southern Methodist, they said, all right, we're putting McMillan in. And obviously the results showed up. He's a dual-threat guy. He showed the ability to throw the football. He's on some preseason watch lists. He's going to be a tough challenge here.
And no doubt about it. And obviously on the highlight that you're watching right now, he has the ability, because he has the legs, to extend plays. It's not, it's not like he's a pocket quarterback that can't scramble, can't create plays. If he's covered, he can tuck the ball. But, the ability to throw the ball has really made them a significantly more challenging offense to try to defend.
And then defensively, a big strength for them last year. Talk about getting to the backfield. They had 14 sacks as a team, in 2017. 41 in 2018. And Patrick Johnson along the defensive end, he had 10.5 himself, nearly the total of the team in 2017. So it's going to be a fun matchup because we're a team that was third in the country last year in sacks allowed, and the team that was number one, West Point, well, they don't throw the football. So it seems to be strength against strength here. It's going to be fun to watch how that evolves.
Yeah, when you start watching film in preparation for this, over the course of the summertime, you start breaking down Tulane, and you look at the one thing that you just referenced, the strength of that defense is their defensive line. Those guys, they're big, they're strong, they're powerful at the point of attack. They really do a great job of trying to control the line of scrimmage. They're a two-gap kind of a deal, but the thing that really lights people up is that they can rush the passer. You referenced the fact they had 41 sacks. A lot of those come from blitzes, from linebackers coming inside, linebackers coming off the edge, and secondary guys. They'll blitz a safety, they'll blitz a corner from the boundary, and they really are going to challenge every single thing that you do as far as protections with your offensive line, the tight ends, and the running backs. Everybody's got to be on the same page.
Yeah, Louisiana had a couple of weeks to gear up for those blitzing schemes in the bowl game and gave up 7 in Orlando. The offensive line's going to obviously have to be on top of the game and calling out those protections to keep James Morgan safe, which he did a great job of that last year. All right, we're wrapping up week 1 of Panther Talk Live. Hey, the months of early morning practices made all worthwhile with all the anticipation that we see it around here. The new practice jerseys, getting ready for another season. We'll wrap things up here on Panther Talk Live when we return after this.
Stronger together.
Innovative.
Pushing ourselves to think outside the box.
We love to compete. Any team.
Anytime.
And any place.
Inspiring others through service and achievement.
Comfortable leading in a different way.
Preparing for life beyond athletics. Determined to achieve our vision.
Building the next generation.
And we aren't afraid of doing it our way.
This is the CUSA way.
We are playing for FIU. We're playing for the Panthers. We're playing for our family.
Morgan looking for history. Has it in for the touchdown.
Maurice Alexander. It's a house call.
They're really competing to see who's making the best nutritious meals, and the girls are working really hard. So I'm excited.
It helps with their recovery following workouts and competitions and games. If they don't get the right amount of nutrients in as far as protein and carbs and vitamins and minerals from the fruits and veggies, then they might not perform up to where they can.
I had the best time getting to cook with some of my favorite teammates. My group really flowed very well. Sophia, Abby, and Theo were just magnificent. They let me take lead.
Obviously, it was awesome. It was amazing. Not only are they great athletes and terrific students, but they're actually really, really good chefs. They know how to cook. It was a fun event, but it was a fulfilling event.
We're a university founded on the side of an airport, reaching new heights. It's in our DNA. And since then, we've dedicated ourselves to solving the big problems facing our community and the world. We believe that crazy startup idea isn't so crazy, that families without health care shouldn't have to go it alone. We believe we can be better prepared for the next hurricane, and that our coral reefs can be saved. And that's because, above all else, we believe in you.
Stronger together.
Innovative.
Pushing ourselves to think outside the box.
We love to compete. Any team.
Anytime.
And any place.
Inspiring others through service and achievement.
Comfortable leading in a different way.
Preparing for life beyond athletics. Determined to achieve our vision.
Building the next generation.
And we aren't afraid of doing it our way.
This is the CUSA way.
We are playing for FIU. We're playing for the Panthers. We're playing for our family.
Morgan looking for history. Has it in for the touchdown.
Maurice Alexander. It's a house call.
We're a university founded on the side of an airport, reaching new heights. It's in our DNA. And since then, we've dedicated ourselves to solving the big problems facing our community and the world. We believe that crazy startup idea isn't so crazy, that families without health care shouldn't have to go it alone. We believe we can be better prepared for the next hurricane, and that our coral reefs can be saved. And that's because, above all else, we believe in you.
it's always room to grow. You're never complacent, so just ready to keep learning and keep getting better every day.
Go, TD, let's go.
The swag we play with every day, the running to the ball, the physicality of the defense, understand assignments. We got a lot of veteran guys, and everybody understands what we're going to get done.
Mike Brown primed for a standout senior season. The FIU cheer squad ready for the 2019 campaign as well. As much anticipation as we've had for a season here at FIU in the history of the program. The cheer team always bringing the spirits. Last night, a great time, and looking forward to the home opener at Ricardo Silva Stadium as well against Western Kentucky in a few weeks. All right, AJ Ricketts, Butch Davis, as we start wrapping things up on Panther Talk Live, Week 1, brought to you by Geico, sponsored by Florida Lumber as well. All right. Perhaps you're in the midst of your lunch break at work, taking a couple minutes to watch Panther Talk Live. Maybe you're in the middle of class and having a case of the Mondays. So we're here to help. We're all human. Case of the Mondays happen. To help with that, we present Mondays with Mogridge.
You got to make decisions now, right? I mean, you got to make, because the adversity ain't going away. Script says we got X amount of reps, we getting them. You know what I mean? And like just like in these scrimmages, you say what's good about being in a scrimmage? I'm standing over there, bro. I ain't taking a single rep. You know what? There ain't a rep I'm going to take for you. You got to go do it. So making the decision, putting your feet in the ground. And again, it's all we talk about every day is be where your feet are. Just be where your feet are. Be right where your feet are. Don't look back. Don't look ahead. Take care of this. And then and you'll be right where you want to be. And you'll be right where you want to be as a football player, as a daddy, as a husband, as a family. Yeah.
Are you inspired? Are you motivated? You ready to run through a brick wall? I could listen to Coach Mo all day. I like spending time watching the O-line at practice just to eavesdrop on what the wisdom that Coach Mo is bringing. He brings energy to your stuff.
No doubt about it. I don't know if I've coached with a guy that's more energetic, more passionate, more enthusiastic. He gets his guys fired up and ready to play, and he's a great teacher. That's the best part about it. You don't set a record last year like we did of only giving up 8 sacks in the course of a season unless you're a good teacher. You're taking young kids, training them how to play, and he just does an outstanding job.
And it's been awesome for you. You've been able to work with him for so long. That's a great relationship and a guy to have as your associate head coach. All right, Mondays with Mo. We're going to try to get some more out of him throughout the season.
That'll be easy to do. Trust me.
A little segment. I asked him a question 5 minutes later, then we're still chatting. I love it. That's our guy right there, Coach Mo. All right, like we said, we say it every year. We're a show of the people. We take your Twitter questions. We had a lot of them this week. You guys brought it. We appreciate that. Let's get to the Twitter questions, shall we?
Good.
All right. Number 1 from 2, Timmer 7, Coach, after such a successful season last year, how does the coaching staff build off that to keep the momentum going? How do you avoid complacency?
Yeah, well, that's one thing that obviously sabotages a lot of teams is you focus on things that happened in the past. And if you just listen to Alan Mogridge say, be where your feet are, well, it's kind of like take care of what your business is for today. Don't worry about what happened last year. All those games don't mean anything. And so you start over in January with the off-season conditioning program, spring practice, new players, guys trying to find roles on the team, and you just keep trying to grow the program and focusing on doing the best you can that day and then getting ready for tomorrow.
Like we said, the memories of the Bahamas Bowl are great, but it's a new season, a new standard. Got to move forward. Next play. All right, next question comes from RJ, and we addressed it a little bit earlier in the show, but again, it's certainly a storyline heading this season. RJ wondering about the run defense. It's a little bigger dimensions here, but I think we can get the question. The run defense was an issue. How's the run defense looking this year? How have you seen it progress? I think that's what the question is asking.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was one of the things that was a sore point as far as our defense. I thought we played really good as far as the pass protection in red zone. We did a lot of good things. We got to do a better job stopping the run, and it's all about doing your job. Quit trying to do something in somebody else's responsibility. Make sure you take care of yours, especially the front 7 guys. We're a gap-controlled defense. Attack your gap, be in your gap. Don't try to jump in your gap and then say, oh, well, the ball carrier's going here, I'm going to jump. All of a sudden, he cuts back, and we probably, I would say that probably at least 35 to 40% of the runs yardage that we gave up last year was just simply not being in the place that we were responsible for. So hopefully we're a lot more experienced from last year, a little bit more depth and keeping guys fresh. And linebackers with Sage, I think, obviously he's going to do a great job setting that front.
And just having veterans, getting a group to really buy into gap control, that's huge. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think we'll hopefully see the benefits of that experience this season. All right, question number 3. I think it comes from Lucila Pineda, wondering about expectations. Let's bring that one up here as we roll on with week 3 of Panther Talk Live. Okay.
Yeah, there
We're
you
going to
go.
work on the dimensions next week. We're using the technology of week 1. We're going to figure it out. But Lucila, thank you for contributing. How do you keep from thinking of, keep the expectations, keep the work ethic going?
Yeah. And again, it kind of goes back to, take care of your responsibility. Become the best that you can at your position. I've already told the team, I said, we don't want to be the best team that we're going to be this Thursday night against Tulane. 12, 14 games later on in the season, you want to be the best team you're going to be the last game of the season. We want to be the best that we can be this Thursday. Keep it simple, execute, play hard, do your assignment, know your job, and then the results will take care of themselves. There'll be no animosity of worrying about the stress of well, what happens if this happens? Hey, just go out and play hard and do your job, and we'll be fine.
Being under the lights, Ullman Stadium, week 1, I think that'll provide all the adrenaline and work ethic you want out of your guys.
Can I tell you how much the kids are so sick and tired of hitting each other?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, my God. It's like, how many more days can you go out there and scrimmage and go against your best friends?
Yeah.
It's time to play another game,
All right, J.D. Garcia, he's running. I'm just going to read this from the phone here. He asked, what's the mood around the team like at this point? Are there any differences from past seasons going into this year's opener with Tulane? That's a good question.
I would say that the one biggest difference maybe in the previous 2 seasons, a high percentage of these guys have been on this team now for 3 years.
Yeah.
Three recruiting classes, and so, they understand how important it is to take ownership and responsibility for preparation for the game. Getting in the ice tub, doing treatment, eating right, hydrating yourself, practicing, watching film. They know now the routine of what we're going to ask them to do to be prepared for the game. And I think that is the most important and the most biggest improvement of this team is them knowing how to take ownership of the responsibility of how they're going to play.
All right, we're wrapping things up here in week 1 of Panther Talk Live, presented by Geico. And to that point, as we finish things off, I just want to ask, as you enter year 3 here at FIU, coming off a program record and what many projected to be a down season last year, how nice is it to have that culture installed, to have the foundation, and now maybe start to reap the rewards even more than you already have?
AJ, I've told our team this over the last couple of years. When I worked for ESPN, I got a chance to travel and see a lot of the high-profile programs. Went to Florida, Florida State, Alabama, Auburn, Ole Miss, Nebraska, Iowa. And I almost every single time I visited one of those teams, I could tell you by watching practice who was going to win and who was going to lose.
Really? Yeah.
You could go out there and you'd watch it practice, and you would see the experienced, veteran, high-profile players doing one of 2 things. They were taking younger players under the arm and mentoring them and talking to them and coaching them, or the high-profile players that went on the sidelines, took a knee and didn't talk to anybody, and they all had losing seasons. I mean, so a lot of it is those older veteran players, the James Morgans, the Napoleon Maxwells, Maurice Alexander, all those guys talking to younger players and helping them grow and helping them learn how to be prepared, because at some point in time on Thursday night and every single game, next man up. There's going to be opportunities for younger guys to have to come through, and you need the veterans to help prepare them.
Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't been at Tulane's practices, but I've been to a lot of our practices over the past couple of months. I got a lot of confidence in our team. Really excited about what we're going to see Thursday nights under the lights, New Orleans. I know I was talking to some of the donors last night. We got a big contingent heading up Thursday morning to New Orleans. It's going to be a lot of fun to see Panther Nation up in NOLA for week 1. In the Big Easy. No easy task about Tulane, but we're excited for what's coming up. Coach, appreciate the time.
AJ,
great to be back with you. We'll see all you guys Thursday nights, Ullman Stadium, Tulane, FIU, week 1. Folks, football is back. Thanks for watching Panther Talk Live at the Graham Center, brought to you by Geico. We'll see you on Thursday on 790 AM, The Ticket.